Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, thank you so much for everyone who suggested some video ideas and told me what you wanted to see. I feel very grateful and very inspired by your comments and your messages. So thank you very much, and I have lots of ideas now. So job well done. It's good. Today I've been asked for this video, but I also was thinking about doing it for a while, and if you don't know, I posted a video where I explained that I had been diagnosed with an attention deficit disorder, so ADD, and today I want to share my experience living with that said diagnosis. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to get notified when I post all of my videos, well, press on the bell button. First of all, I feel like I have to explain what ADD is. In a very interesting way, mind you. There are three components to ADD, so inattentivity, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Inattentivity, obviously, is when you're so bored that you don't really focus on what you're supposed to focus on. I can be extremely focused, which in ADD is called hyperfocus, on things that really interest me for hours without budging, so it can mean just me staring at a screen for hours, which can be a little weird. But when I find something boring, which everyone does, my brain, what makes it an ADD brain instead of a normal brain, is that the functions that would allow me to stay focused on things that I don't want to focus on are not working. So as a normal human being, when you think something is boring, you force yourself to continue and focus because you know you have to learn. But for people with ADD, the result or the benefit of doing something has to come so quickly and really right now. So our brain cannot focus on the fact that in 2 months we need to pass an exam, or in 3 months we need to have saved that amount of money. For us, it's all about the immediate benefit. So losing focus happens quite quickly, and that's why you are inattentive, and in the class you can draw doodles, or you can, I don't know, just wake up and realize that you've lost 30 minutes of conversation in your class, which sucks a little bit, or even in conversations with your friend. So that's the first pillar, which I have. The second pillar is hyperactivity. So I have ADD, not ADHD, but I believe that ADHD is when your hyperactivity is focused on your body. So talking too quickly, moving too much, being like hyper all the time, that is ADHD. And ADD, it doesn't show on your body. But I believe the hyperactivity is still there, just in the brain. It's not in my body, it's my brain that thinks way too much, has too many ideas at the same time, like I'm listening to 20 radio stations at the same time and trying to stay focused on all of them. It's a busy brain. This can lead to anxiety, by the way, but I'm going to talk about that afterwards. And then the last pillar is impulsivity, and a lot of people know about that, but it's about buying things too quickly, talking too quickly, I don't know, just jumping into a situation too quickly, and that is due to your emotions. People with ADD have a difficulty regulating their emotions, which means that when I feel super excited at buying a makeup product, let's say, my emotions, which is what the ADD brain does, is that the emotion takes full-on control of my brain for a couple of minutes, which means that my rational thinking or my logical thinking is not really in the forefront. It's all about my emotion, and that's why I can be very impulsive and buy the thing even though maybe I don't have the money, or I haven't thought about it that much, or maybe there's a better product elsewhere. Which can lead to leaving jobs way too early, switching jobs all the time, switching careers all the time, or programs all the time, because for that instant when you have an intense emotion, your brain is not able to regulate it, so you can make a very clear and controlled decision. You just act on your emotions. So those are the three pillars, and that's why for me the hardest thing, I believe for me, is my impulsivity. It is my emotions. I make decisions way too quickly based on my emotions, and when I'm not medicated, I can get depressed on those days very quickly, depressed and stressed and anxious. So living with this for the past months, I've been diagnosed in May, it has been a challenge because I have developed anxiety and depression from having this disorder. The way that I could understand that and know that for sure is that my anxiety doesn't stem from being afraid of people or afraid of germs or whatever. It stems from being afraid of not being able to be productive enough or responsible enough, and that's directly linked to the ADD. So that's why I know that my anxiety comes from the ADD. And depression, the same thing. I've felt very, very bad and have had low self-esteem because I don't feel as if I have attained the potential that I have, or I have used the potential that I have. This can affect self-esteem, and thus it leads to a bit of depressive states. Yeah, so fun. But I also have this tendency to be very existential. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Blah, blah. This hasn't left because of my ADD, obviously. And I still have a bit of social anxiety when I go out in public places, but that has to do with my sensitivity, where there are too many people, in fact. When I'm one-on-one with someone, I'm not anxious, but when it's, well, loads of people. Anyway, I have a theory that the nervous system being too sensitive can lead to ADD and depression and anxiety, and all those things has to do with being a very sensitive person and having a very sensitive nature. I'm not sure about that, but I don't know. I've been thinking about this theory. Maybe one day it'll be proven or not. We don't know. It has been hard. I've been taking Concerta on and off. There are days where I don't want to take it. Concerta at first really changed my life. It taught my brain to see life in a very, very different way. I took Concerta and all of a sudden I was just living. Instead of thinking and being caught in my head and being caught in my body, I was just living. My brain was quiet. I had one idea, I did that idea. Doing the dishes was no big deal. I don't know, driving, going to the groceries was no big deal. I could really focus and I could separate like all of those. It was insane. The difference, I had never lived that way. I realized that I was living on expert instead of just easy. Oh my god, like yeah, it really, really changed. But as the days went on, it sort of stopped being as effective. Maybe that's why I feel like I should look for something else. I don't want to keep upping my doses until, to keep up with the medication or to keep up with the ADD. I think that's terrible, but I think that having my brain rewired that way, being able to see life differently, I know how it feels, and I just wish that I could maybe always remind myself of that and practice this way of living. Don't know if it's gonna work. That's why I don't have any tips. Concerta, it has made me a little bit anxious because it's just, it's a stimulant and I already have a bit of anxiety, so on those days I feel very hyper. But when I don't take it, my emotions take control of my day and I end up not doing anything. But it has been a struggle. It's hard for me to accept that I need a medication, especially where medication for ADD are very addictive because they're stimulants. It's a bit like cocaine, I believe. So that scares me. You have no idea how much. Now I went to see my doctor and I'm starting a new medication today or tomorrow, which is Vyvanse. No idea if it's going to work for me, but if this doesn't work, I'm going to stop taking stimulants and I'm going to go on Strattera, which has no stimulant, so it's good for people with anxiety, and that's what I'm going to try out afterwards. So medication-wise, I have no idea what fits for me. And it's just impossible to tell you what medication you should take because it really depends on who you are and your disorder and your anxiety levels and all of those things. It's really a matter of trying out and seeing if it fits, and I hate that an enormous amount. It sucks. I just want to have the right medication right away because it stresses me out, but that's an impossible thing, so I have to accept that. So in general, what I have to say about ADD, it is complicated. It affects many areas of your life and also many areas of your psychology. I would say that I don't have lessons or tips right away because it's been just a matter of searching for the right way to deal with it. But what I can say is that I have a fear that is there of being addicted to a medication and needing a medication. That stresses me out a little bit. I'm afraid of that, and I am really trying to find a way to not take stimulant medication. But if I take Vyvanse and it really changes my life, then I'll do that. So yeah, in general, I totally have ADD. Totally builds lots of intense emotions and a bit of anxiety and a bit of depression, and can't wait to try Vyvanse or Concerta to be able to tell you a little bit more about this journey. But for now, it is still a self-searching process. I'm not an expert yet. I'm not even settled yet. So I will talk about this another time. But for now, I just wanted to keep you up to date and to show you that you're not alone. And yes, it can be scary. And yes, it takes a little while. We just have to be patient. Thank you for watching. I love you very much. See you soon, soon, soon.